We have already learned about the addition and multiplication properties of equations, so wouldn't it be really cool if we put them all together? That's what this particular problem is about. We're going to have to do both of those properties to be able to solve this thing. So of course it does say solve, so we do want to end up with a numerical solution. Just like before, we are going to make sure that everything is completely simplified before we start moving stuff around. So if we look at this particular problem, we do have a 2 in front of this parentheses, so I'm going to distribute out the 2 to everything in parentheses, and then I'm also going to distribute out this -4 to everything. Now, why am I doing a -4? Well, there's a negative attached to that 4, so we want to make sure that we have that distributed out to everything. Okay, so 2 times 3w is going to give us a 6w, plus 2 times 7 is 14. And then if we distribute out our -4 times 5, and I know guys it does look like subtraction, but subtraction and negatives really are the same thing. So -4 times 5 is going to give me a -20, and -4 times -2w is going to give me a positive 8w. And that is equal to 6. So we have distributed everything out. Now, we still have some stuff we can do on the left side. I do have some like terms that I can combine together. So if you'll notice, we have a 6w and an 8w. So it's 6w plus 8w, which is going to give us 14w. So you got 14w. And then I also have a positive 14 and a -20 that I can put together. Well, 14 minus 20 is the same thing as saying 14 plus -20. Or you can just say, oh, 14 minus 20, that's going to put me in the hole by 6. So this is really 14w minus 6. Equals 6. Now that's about all I can do on this problem without starting to move stuff around. So that's how I know I'm ready. Now, we are going to try to undo addition and subtraction first. So guys, your first step is to always use the addition property, and then you try to finish up with the multiplication property. So we are solving for w. What do I need to get rid of first? I want to get rid of that -6. So what undoes a -6? Well, to undo subtraction, we are going to add 6. And if I add it to one side of the equal sign, we absolutely positively have to do it to the other side of the equal sign. So this -6 plus 6 cancels out and gives us a 0, which I don't need to write back down. So we're left with a 14w on the left side. Well, 6 plus 6 is going to give me a 12. So, how do we finish this problem out? Well, to finish solving for w, since this is 14 times w, I'm going to undo multiplication, which is done by dividing. So I'm going to divide both sides by 14. So 14 divided by 14 gives me a 1w, which I can write down as a w. And then 12 divided by 14, that doesn't go into it. However, we can reduce it. So 12 and 14 are both divisible by 2. So 12 divided by 2 is a 6. 14 divided by 2 is a 7. So this thing reduces down to be 6/7. So w is equal to 6/7. And of course, I can check that by plugging it back in if you want to.